Welcome to the Warframe weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Lacera. You can get the blueprint for the Lacera from the Tenno lab in your dojo, and building the weapon is actually relatively cheap. It's 20,000 credits, 2 Morphics, 4,200 polymer bundles, 1,200 Rubido, and the one thing that is a little bit more expensive is it does take 20 Gallium. Even the research is actually fairly cheap, so as long as you are in a clan and you have a Tenno lab, you should be able to get it no problem. The Lacera is a Mastery Rank 7 blade and whip that does primarily electricity damage, with the second highest damage type being Slash. It has average attack speed of 0.917, solid range of 2.5, and it comes with low crit chance of 5%, standard 2x crit multiplier, and an extraordinarily high 45% status chance. One quirky thing about the Lacera is that the radio damage from its slam has a good chance of proccing electricity. Now, while this might not sound like much, it can actually be used as a fairly reliable way to crowd control things. For the build, we're gonna go with a pure status setup that runs Viro and Slash, and we really want to double down on size, so we run Buskill and Carnis Mandible, and we're also curating the amount of Viro we get with one fully ranked dual stat mod and one unranked one. Now, while I am running spring-loaded blade on this, that's only because at some point I added a depolarity to the weapon and I haven't bothered reformatting it back. You should ideally format a V in there so that you can run either primed reach for more range or a primed smite mod for some extra sweaty damage. Now, this weapon is kind of insane, and it's all because of that status chance. I mean, with the build that I just showed you, you have over 100% status chance before Weeping Wounds. And Weeping Wounds alone actually brings this weapon to almost 300% status. So believe you me when I say that this thing procs status like nothing else. It's ridiculous how much status this thing can proc in just a couple of swings, which is why this weapon goes absolutely bonkers when you scale a lot of attack speed with it through things like Warcry and Arcane Strike. But wait, it gets better, because despite the weapon being pretty strong as it is, its Riven disposition is very high, so if you happen to get a Riven for it, it's gonna be a juicy one. So as far as I'm concerned, this weapon is a really good investment, though it's of course not perfect, mainly because of the low crit chance. You don't get access to crit scaling, which would add a ton of damage to it. So all in all, I think the Lacera is an absolutely fantastic introduction to the blade and whip class of melee weapons. It's really fun, it's decently fast, and the damage it does is fantastic. Plus, if you end up really liking it, you can eventually get the Seti Lacera at Mastery Rank 12, which is essentially the same weapon, it just has slightly less status chance at only 40%, oh no, but it actually has enough crit to make a hybrid build viable. So if you're even the slightest bit interested in blade and whip weapons, this is an absolutely fantastic one to pick up and try out. Though to be entirely honest, that could be said about all the blade and whip weapons. There's only a few of them and they're all pretty good. The only thing I can think of that could turn you away from this is the stance, Defiled Snapdragon, as there aren't any alternatives. It's basically Snapdragon or bust. Outside of Conclave anyway. And while I don't think Snapdragon is the best stance in the world, it's definitely not bad. But anyway, that's it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.